Hello, can you hear me? Okay, the microphone was turned off. Cool. Thank you for telling me, Giacomo. Okay, so hello there, I can hear you. Okay, now I turned on the mic. I actually had it turned off in the settings here. Hello everyone, welcome. We will start very soon with the live demonstration. Okay, cool. Add the stream marker. Okay, we are ready. I would say we are ready. So welcome everyone to this live, and tonight we will do, or this morning, it depends on where you're watching from, we will do quick demonstration. I mean, it depends on the timing here of the live. I don't know if I can go, how long I can go. It looks like I have 1 hour maybe to do it. And hello Simone, hello Giorgio. And we will do a live demonstration of digital sculpting in ZBrush. Okay, so it's gonna be the sculpting process starting from a sphere, and then we will create a bust of a character. But before we start, let me please introduce myself. My name is Andrea. I'm an Italian digital artist, freelance designer. I do stuff in 3D. And please, if you like this kind of content, if you want to follow me on YouTube and see what happens, hit the subscribe button, okay, below the video, and activate the notification bell so you get notified when I do this kind of live or when I publish some video here. And also, please, if you like the video, smash the like button. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm and it makes me very happy. So smash the like button right now. Okay, turn it blue. And if you are watching the live streaming or if you are watching the replay, please let me know in the comment or in the chat. Let me know something about you and what are your dreams, what are your aspirations in the 3D world, right? And also what do you like to do with ZBrush, right? So why you like ZBrush, why you like digital sculpting, okay? And also what you would like to learn from me, okay, on this channel. So if you are in the chat, please. Hi Andrea. Hi Giacomo. Tonight I will show something classic if you know me, okay? I will show something very classic. It's gonna be a character sculpt. But before we start, I want to ask you another question. And this question is, what kind of character do you like more? Okay, if you are in the live chat, let me know in the live chat. If you are watching the replay and you can comment below. What kind of character do you like more? Do you like more realistic character or stylized character? Okay, because this can help me also with the demo I'm going to do later to decide which route I should go more. Okay, so let me jump in ZBrush just a second. So let me move the window on this side and let me close Photoshop because we don't need it. Okay, okay, close. Let me see in the comment. Please let me know in the chat if you prefer a more realistic approach or a more stylized approach to sculpting. And I will show you some sculpt I was working on. Okay, so this one is a bust I was doing. Let me resize the camera here. Tac, 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 and I will put it here in the corner. Okay, here we go. Cool. So someone is saying they prefer realistic characters. Someone is saying realistic again. Okay, realistic, stylized. Okay, let me know also in the comment if you're watching the replay. I will take a look and I will know what kind of approach you like the most. So this one, for example, it's more on the stylized side, I can say, and it's an orc, which is maybe many of you know me already. If you know me already, you know that it's one of my favorite subjects to sculpt. So this is one orc, and then I have another one I was working on. Okay, and these are more on the stylized side. And tonight we are going to do actually an orc sculpt. So I will try to do something like this, but instead of showing just the final result, I will do it starting from a sphere. Okay, so I will show you all the sculpting process. Let's start with a pretty low resolution sphere, and I will use a Dynamesh sphere. We can go in the technicalities if you're interested, but it's a beautiful character, says Giacomo. Thank you, Giacomo. Beautiful orc, which is a quite weird, things to say, but I'm happy you like it. And yeah, so let's see about the realistic or stylized. I can count 2 realistic, 3 realistic, and then I see 1, 2 stylized. Okay, so maybe we will go more on the realistic side, or make a little bit of a mix, which is actually my style. I like to mix it up a bit, so do a little bit of stylish stuff and a little bit of more realistic stuff. So we will start with just with a sphere. I will put another material here. I will put the basic material. And as usual, when I sculpt, I always start by blocking out the anatomy. So I can use the move brush, for example, and I will start to deform this sphere to create what we can say it's the skull shape, right? So it's a simplified version of the skull shape, of course, but this is what I tend to create every time I start sculpting the face of a character. It's like this stylized version of a skull, a simplified version of a skull, where we have these kind of proportions. Let me get the pen so I can show you a bit better. Let's see. Okay, even stylized, there is always something to learn, of course. Orcs stylized is okay. So let's see. This is the shape I've been creating right now, right? So what is my thought process behind creating this shape? The thought process is that I'm thinking in proportions, right? So I'm thinking a box, basically, okay, with a proportion that is like 3 squares high, okay, and 2 squares large, 2 squares, and from the side it's more like a square. Okay, so if I look from the front, I would have something like this, like 6 square, and from the side it's more like 9 squares, so it's a box like this with this kind of proportions. And I'm already starting to visualize this line for the eyes, okay, and this line for the jaw, and this line for the base of the nose that aligns with the back of the skull. Okay, so I'm starting to see, and this is the side plane of the face. Okay, so what I'm seeing in my mind while I do this kind of shape is this one. Okay, it's this kind of construction. Okay, so again, if you look it from straight in front, okay, I might need to adjust the proportions while I do it, but the idea here is to have this kind of diagram. Okay, so 3 squares high. Okay, it doesn't have to be like, you know, perfect. It doesn't have to be measured, you know, with every inch or every centimeters perfectly aligning, but it's a first you know, a first block out, a first you know, visualization of where I'm going. So this is going to be the skull shape. Then I can insert, for example, a cylinder, and I will use this as a neck shape. Okay, so the neck is going to go into the skull with a little bit of an angle. Okay, and I can apply a Dynamesh to this shape too. So this Dynamesh is 32. Let's put the same kind of resolution. This is the Dynamesh resolution, is basically how many squares are making up this model, or how big and how small are these squares. And if I lose the symmetry, I have a shortcut for you know, mirror and weld, which is a command you can find here in modify topology. And if I want to keep the symmetry, I just have to press X on the keyboard, and that's going to activate the symmetry, and I can keep, you know, deforming this shape with symmetry, which is great. Okay, and I can spend some time perfecting these base shapes. Okay, as this is an arc, I will be pushing, you know, the jaw more in front, so I'm starting to design the shape of the character already a bit. Okay, in this phase. Now I have the neck here, which is okay, and then I can insert another sphere or a cube. Let's do a sphere, for example. I will move it down here for, you know, representing the volume of the body. And I'm very happy to see that you are doing some conversation in English in the chat. Even my Italian students, you have to know that if you are not Italian, you should know that I have many Italian students who I'm teaching how to sculpt in ZBrush, and also 3D model in ZBrush, and do other things. And they are so kind that they decided to support me in this international live. So yes, here we are. And here what I'm thinking is in terms of anatomy. Okay, I'm thinking, so if this is the neck, here we get in the clavicle area, right? So if I want to simplify the muscle of the trapezius, it's going to be like that. Okay, and here I will put the clavicles. Okay, the clavicles will be here. Okay, and here there will be the humerus for the arms, and behind here we will have the scapula. This is a very simplified diagram, and then with this diagram in mind, I will be able to place the pectoral muscle, the deltoid muscle here, okay, with the different heads of the deltoid. And I will keep building my anatomy on top of this mental, you know, construction I have. Okay, so to do this, maybe we will keep deforming this shape with some clay buildup. Okay, I will add some volume here to start representing the shoulders. Okay, and I can update the mesh. Okay, and I will be just doing the bust part, so I don't need to sculpt all the body, and maybe later I will adjust the proportions. Right now I just have to put some volume there to represent the fact that I will be doing the body. Okay, maybe we can make it a little bit bigger because this is an arc. Okay, let's create some space for the neck. Let's go with the trapezius. Let's go a bit back, and let's start showing the clavicle area, what's happening there. Okay, let's start to show a bit of the pectoral muscle, shoulder. Okay, and we will go back and fix the proportions if we need to. Not a big deal. Right now, everything should be very loose and very, easy to change. So now we will start to give some more character to this orc. No, let's find what are the things that makes an orc an orc. Okay, we can this when we can recognize an orc, what is this orc going to look like? We can keep it all separated, but for now what I would like to do is just merge the different subtools, okay, and just make one Dynamesh for everything. It's pretty fast to work in this way, and I want to keep it fast. I will take the alpha off for the clay buildup, and I will start to work on the proportions of all the different parts that I started to block out. Okay, we can call this process the block out process. Okay, I'm going to create blocks of clay to represent different parts of the character, and I will slowly build the different shapes. Let's start building the skull of this orc. Let's put some orbits in here. Okay, put some nose. Okay, some superciliary arch or arcata sopraccigliare in Italian, which is very similar to the Latin from which all these anatomical names come from. Okay, let's work on giving him a very low forehead. Let's move the eyes up, make the proportions a bit more monster-like. Okay. Salvatore, thank you. Okay, let's make the neck bigger, more muscular. Let's make this muscle bigger. Let's make this part more prominent. Okay. Okay. Let's see about the teeth. Let's start thinking about the mouth and the teeth. Okay. Being an orc, I need to create a very big mouth. And I'm using the dumb standard to carve inside the shape. Okay. And the orbits. Okay, as you can see now, my main objective is create this kind of light and shadows. Okay, so now the objective is create light here, midtones, shadow. Okay, light, midtones, shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow, light, midtones, shadow. Okay, this is what I'm focusing on in order to create the shape. Okay, the shape is created by how the light hits the shape. Okay, so when you're sculpting, you should be mostly concerned about creating this kind of relationship between light and dark. Okay, so this is going to be the ears. We will define them better, but right now I just want to create some volumes. Okay, maybe they should be a bit higher, but right now I'm just concerned of in blocking, block out, as I told you before, blocking out the shapes. From the top, I have to be careful that the skull, I shaved this part because from the top, the skull should have like this egg shape. So it's smaller on this side and bigger on this side, right? And yes, time standard for defining the cut, exactly, Salvo. So this is a first approach, and I think we are on a good spot. You see, when you look it from far away, it's already working as a sculpture because we have this light and shadow relationships, and now we can build on top of that with more details and define better all the different shapes. Okay, maybe the skull should be a bit smaller for this kind of creature. Okay, it's not very smart creature, so we can make the skull smaller. Okay, let's move the ear a bit. Okay, so you see you have a smaller skull, it means he's not so smart. And also we can rotate, we can make him a bit more hunched, so the line of the shoulder should be more inclined like this, and I can fix it with the clay buildup. So this is going to be the neck and the trapezius. Okay, and these are going to be the shoulders, which are going to be very big. Let's add some volume here in the back. Okay, and when I do this kind of strokes, I'm always thinking about the muscles beneath. So this is still part of the trapezius. These are the scapulas. Okay, these are the different heads of the deltoid. And then I can put some volume here. You see? Let's move the head a bit. Okay, I'm using a mask to move the head lower. Okay, as you can see, it looks more like an orc now. Before it was more like a normal human. Now it's getting more orc-like, and we started from the sphere, right? And now we arrive to this point. Okay, when I arrive to this point, I think I have a pretty defined, anatomy. What I want to do now is increase the resolution. So I will go on 64, something like that. I will update the resolution, and I will start drawing maybe with the standard brush at this point. And I will try to define a bit more the anatomy. The hardest part is the initial part, the one where I have to, really nail down the proportion, because if I cannot do that in the right way, it's going to transfer to everything I do after. So it's going to be, my sculpture will be weak. Okay, it will have weak shapes, not strong shapes. If I actually spend some time really designing the shapes of the basic shapes of the sculpture, that is going to transfer even later in the sculpting process. So let's do that. George is speaking German in the chat. Maybe it's better for him than English. Okay. So now as you can see, I'm using the standard brush and I'm almost drawing, the different muscle groups on top of my base sculpture. Okay. So this is another approach to better define the muscles. Okay, and then I can smooth it out a bit. Okay, make it less, a bit less visible, but I can keep that as a guide, as a guideline on where I should add volume to make the different muscle groups pop more. Scapulas, muscle from the scapula, deltoid. Okay, the front head of the deltoid, this head of the pectoral muscle. Okay, let's give some volume here in the center and smooth it out to better, blend it with the rest of the volume. Let's add some. And as you can see, I'm just using very simple brushes, very simple shapes. Okay, let's go nearer the face. Salvo is leaving. Okay, Salvo, don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button. Okay, and see you in the next video. Okay, here I'm going to carve a bit. I want to create more like a sphere here from the back of the skull, you can see. And then I know here the skull is doing a bit like this, so I can make that part more easy to feel. Okay, let's point out the zygomatic bone more. Here I will need more resolution to fix the ear properly, but it's not even something we are going to see much from the front, so it's okay. Move topological, and I will squeeze the skull even more to make the face more triangular from the front, even more triangular. Oops. Okay. I will need more resolution to fix the face properly. Let's make this arc more prominent. Okay. Let's make this nose more like this, the mouth and the chin even more. As you can see, I'm always looking the sculpture from different angles and try to see what I feel it needs to change, it needs to be fixed. Okay, cool. Let's pump up the resolution a bit more. Let's go 128, for example. Yes. And let's do clay build-up. Let's do some eyes. Let's start putting some placeholder for the eyes. Okay. Let's start giving him some more expression. Okay. Let's do some lips here. corner of the mouth, lower lips, chin, massetere muscle, okay, nostrils, tip of the nose, side of the nose, okay, the standard, nasolabial fold, both with positive volume and negative volume. Okay, let's give the zygomatic more importance. Zygomatic bone. Okay. Temporal line. Forehead volume. The plane of the forehead. Okay. One frontal plane with two side planes. Then smooth a little bit. Fix the shape. Okay. Go inside here. Here, let's put some muscle on the side of the head, which is going to the mandible. Okay, I'm thinking in terms of anatomy. This muscle is connecting behind the zygomatic. Okay, here is the zygomatic bone with the front plane and the side plane, and this is connecting actually to the mandible, which is behind here. And then we have the massetere muscle, which is doing like that. So all this is a more advanced study on anatomy, but all this is what is going on in the back of my mind while I do this sculpt. Okay, let's see, what do I want to do now? Maybe let's fix the ears a bit. Let's make them more concave. Okay, lobe of the ear, I don't know, the lobe, yes, you can call the lobe. Okay, we need to go deeper here. Let's go with the standard brush. We need to go deeper here, more out here. Okay, let's use the move topological. Let's fix this shape. Okay, they're very cartoonish, but it's okay. We are going more on the, you know, stylized side here. Okay, I should maybe push them a little bit in from the front. The volume here should be fixed, but right now I'm not too much concerned about. This is going like that, this is going like that. Okay, they're a bit less elfish. And I can say maybe they're a bit too big, which is not a big deal because we can mask this part without the without the perspective. We can do that. We can do this. We can center this part, and we can activate local symmetry and resize and replace these ears to be smaller. Okay, and then we can fix a bit this kind of imperfections in the mesh. Okay, let's go back to the perspective. Maybe let's change a bit the drawing perspective. I want it to be a bit more, you know, flat, a bit less a bit less you know, the perspective deformation. I want the perspective deformation to be less important. I think still the neck of this orc is a bit too long. It should be more, yeah, let's see, more like this. Okay, right. Let's make this muscle get more there, and here let's put some skin folding. Okay. Okay, now we have a very nice skull shape, I can say. Maybe the top of the skull, we should move it a bit there. Maybe this part we can bring it a bit back. Yeah, I like it. It's not bad. Okay, now we can quick save first. It's very fichissimo, Giacomo, it's very cool. Okay, insert a sphere. Let's start working on the eyes. And let's put the sphere here in this area, the area where the eye will actually be. Let's put it like that. This. Okay, let's mirror this sphere, but without the local symmetry, so it's going to be mirrored on the other side. And let's start to work on these eyes to make them more realistic. Okay. Having the sphere on another subtool is very useful because I can, you know, draw without being scared of destroying the sphere of the eye, which remains as a reference. Then I can work on the shape of the actual eyelids. Okay. We will keep it a bit open, the eye, so it looks like he is angry or, you know, looking very sharply to his next victim or to his next prey. Let's move also this part. Okay, I like it. Maybe the eyes should be a bit smaller. And also all this part should be a bit more compressed. There's something I shouldn't get too carried away with, because it's useless to spend too much time on this kind of detail right now, because we still have to do a lot of stuff, but it's okay. Okay. After this live, immediately upload a video with Pixologic. I expect it. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's define this part better. Also with the move. I should be moving this muscle a bit because the muscle is getting you know, moved while I sculpted it. It was not connecting to the right attachment point anymore. So this is the sternocleidomastoideo, sternocleidomastoideo. It's done like, it's made like this from this, you know, bone spine in the skull, and here is obviously is like over, you know, developed because we are talking about an arc, but before it was going in the wrong place, so I had to fix it. Yes, like this. Up. Go there. Okay. Let's see, let's see. This looks good. This looks good. Okay, I can make it better here, but the back I'm not too much concerned of making a very good back of the character. I'm mostly focusing on the front part, the front side. So now something important we have to consider is the teeth, right? The teeth. The teeth, we have to decide how to make them. I think a good strategy would be to duplicate the eyes, just to have some volume here already, and activate the Dynamesh, extend them, okay, rotate them with the local symmetry. Oh, I have to activate symmetry. This could be an interesting thing to do. Maybe with the move brush we can start to shape these spheres more like actual fangs. Okay. Let's update the Dynamesh. Okay, that could be one solution. We can also duplicate this and start making the lower teeth. Okay. This could be a solution. Let's see. Yeah, it's a bit cartoonish, but I like it. Actually, I'm also thinking of removing the lips and making it more like a monstrous arc. Let's see. Let's deactivate the symmetry. Rotate this 180 degrees. 180, please. Okay. Move this up. Rotate. Scale it. Okay. Make it more like a skull thing. Let's see, like this, and these are the bottom ones. Okay. Local symmetry, no. Okay. These ones, they are too deep. Let's take this part out. Let's do different polygroups. Activate here, do this. Okay, so I have this kind of effect. Let's go with the move. Okay, I could maybe decide to make like his lips. They can show the teeth. Oops. Move topological. The move topological allows me to move different, parts of the geometry without messing with the other ones. Let's see what happens if I do a duplicate of this and try to go with this kind of solution. So it's like I have like a monstrous kind of orc. Okay, it might be interesting. Maybe I will need to put some more teeth to make it more interesting. Maybe another pair there. Let's see what happens. So let's pick this one and duplicate and move it. Maybe here. Okay. That might be a solution, but it also might be not. Let's see the lower side. I think I should open his mouth a bit. Okay. Move. Let's adjust. This make it more believable. Okay. No topological. Oops. Let's activate the groups here. Okay. And let's try to manage with this one. Okay. Let's make it a bit more stylized. Something like that. Let's push all this inside. Okay, this can be an interesting variation from a more classic orc, let's say. It's like more like a corrupted orc. I don't know. Let's take this fang and duplicate it, make it a bit smaller, move it like this. Auto groups. Okay, that's interesting. This is a possible solution. Okay, so now what I'm thinking is I should really start to move away from too much symmetry to make it more interesting. So what I would do right now is do a merge visible of this and just work on the pose a bit before increasing again the resolution. So I think I would like to move his head a bit like this, and maybe like this and like this, make him more crazy. You see, put it like this, and let's take this and this. No, let's do this, and let's, oh wow, okay, this is okay. Let's use the mask pen. I will mask this part. Okay, let's inverse, and let's open this even more, and I will have to fix that problem, but I want to really try to make him more expressive. It's okay. Move topological. Let's open, let's see. Let's close this one more, open this one more. Op. We can put this, split them in another subtool. Open this eye more, move this one more, make him a little bit more asymmetric. Okay, this object here, it's an error. Okay, now we can fix here a bit, fix here a bit. Rotate, of course, we have to rotate everything together. Okay, I have to be careful when I use that function because sometimes it just doesn't work. And we can push this inside, edit this one. I will keep fixing it. Okay. Dynamesh groups. Let's keep the groups separated as much as possible. Let's do this. Let's put the teeth on another subtool again. Oops. Okay. Split hidden. Okay, let's move this, make it more asymmetrical. Let's make him more crazy even. Okay, Dynamesh. Let's put some tongue here. I should use brush and auto masking, backface mask. It's better. Okay. This. Want this eye very open. I'm also thinking of adding a lip. I'm not so, into that idea anymore. Maybe. Okay. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out the expression. Okay. Let's fix a bit the anatomy here. Standard. So here, this should be happening like that. Here should be like this. Right. Let's work on the eyes a bit. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's see. I think I can start the poly painting process right now. Or maybe I should increase the resolution. Let's go to 56. Okay, and let's fix a couple of points like this one. Put this skin fold more visible. This one, some folds on the forehead. Then standard. Let's do this. Okay, let's better define this part. Okay, this part, and it's like sketching, you know. It's like really like sketching. I try to keep it very loose and fast for this kind of exercise. You shouldn't be too concerned to make it perfect, just to capture, you know, some interesting shapes. Let's push the nostrils. Okay, let's do this. Do this. Define this part more. Okay. Let's go like that, like that. Very sketchy lines on top of the model. Okay. This helps me to define the shapes and clarify some, you know, some structures, and also it's like adding detail in a very free way. This is the tongue. This throat. The build up. Okay. Sketch it, sketch it, sketch it. Tac. Voilà. Now I can also use the clay buildup to define some, you know, some details. As you can see, without the symmetry is much more, I don't know, dynamic, the kind of sculpting. Sometimes the symmetry can be good, but also can be a limitation, let's say. Let's do groups and push it a bit higher. So the teeth should be a bit more asymmetric. Like that. Like that. And also down here. Let's move them around a bit, make them more interesting. Maybe one of the fang is broken. Okay. This one is a bit longer, this one is a bit shorter. You see? it becomes more dynamic. Let's do this concept more even up here. One is shorter, one is longer. One maybe is also broken. Okay, you see? Now I have to differentiate better these ones because they get fused together, which is okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. I can also slice them or just do this, update. Okay, and I will do the same here. Let's do this, and this. I basically created different polygroups for every teeth, so I don't have that problem anymore. Okay, this one now is getting a bit too long, but it's okay. More topological. Let's do this one a bit bigger. For the teeth, I should definitely spend more time fixing them and making them better, but right now I have not much time. I don't want to spend too much time fixing the details. I just want to, you know, power through the sculpt and get to the point where I can say, okay, the design of the character is okay, the, you know, the expression, you know, the most important aspects have been taken care of, and then I can spend all the time that I want just fixing the details. Okay, like this. Let's see. Okay, now I will very fast, I will create some poly paint for this. Let's also move the ears a bit. And we will see what happens with the poly paint. Let's push these nostrils a bit more inside, like that, like that. Let's use the inflate to bulge it a bit more. Okay, right. You know, this is it's like a 3D sketch, right? So my main focus now is to look it from this direction and see if it works and what I can do to make it better, or if I'm done, I should start with the poly paint to make it more interesting, more believable. So let's do it. Let's start painting it. Let's start with a dark green, maybe like this, or a green color fill object, but let's use the paint color fill object. And let's do the eyes also. Let's make them more yellow. Color fill object, and the teeth also more yellow. Okay, now what I want to do is to create the mouth very fast. I will speed paint this. Okay, and I will pick maybe this color to use it to create some variations in the ears and in the eyes. Okay, maybe in these parts where I guess the blood vessels are more visible. Okay, maybe some area should be, let's go in the solo mode a bit. Some area should be darkened, and I will do it now. First, let me finish this. Then let's go darker. Let's do this part darker, this side darker, even darker, like that. Let's get out of solo. Okay. Let's use this color. Let's give some lighter here, lighter color. Okay. Let's do some more sculpting a bit. Dump standard. Let's even increase the intensity to really carve in some stroke. I really want to double down on the details I created and make them even more sharp. Okay. Like this. Like this. Yes. Don't be scared. And who would like to 3D print this sculpture? Let me know in the chat or in the comments. Let's make some scar here. Okay, maybe here too. Maybe more than one scar. Let's make two. And maybe one here. Okay, so he's a real orc warrior who saw quite some battles. Great job, says Carlo. Thank you, Carlo. Let's mark these lips a bit more. Okay. More detail here. More detail here, here. You know, every point of interest, I try to mark some detail to make it pop. Like this. Okay. Okay. I feel like I should do something for the gum. For these teeth. Make it more teeth-like with some gum. So what I'm going to do, maybe, or maybe I will leave it like that. Let's see. Let's keep painting. Move. Okay. Okay. Very, very nice. Thank you, guys. Let's see if this Makes sense. Yes, this eye should be a bit more compressed. Okay. Push it out a bit, move it, give more expression. Some standard. Let's try to draw the eyelid a bit more. Okay. The same on this side. We should have a hint of the eyelid. Okay, cool. Okay, and what should I do next? Let's do the eyes. Actually, let's do the nostrils first, because they should be very dark. Oops. Paint. Let's do that. Let's also try to put some more violet and dark here in the eyes. Maybe it's a bit too much. Maybe I should bring the RGB intensity down a bit and do that. Okay. Let's wait until it saves. And let's put some red also. Let's put some green back. Okay. Do you think the 3D industry in Italy is male dominated? If so, why? This is a tricky question. I mean, I guess it is. There is more guys who are interested in this kind of things, which is pretty normal, I think, because we are talking about monsters or stuff like that. I think just by statistics, right, the most people interested in this kind of things are guys. So I think that's the main reason why. It's just a statistics, but I'm sure that with time more and more girls start practicing this kind of, you know, art, they will get more and more presence. And also, I mean, I know this because of the statistics on my YouTube channel, for example, my Facebook pages. If you look at the demographics, it's mostly men. So it's just you know, a number game. But what would be more interesting to see is the percentage, you know, because in absolute values, for sure, there is more. Maybe, I mean, I'm not sure 100%, but I can guess there is more guys in the industry. But you should also consider relative to the to how many people there are actually studying or practicing this kind of art, right? Because that's also important to see. It's relative to the total number. Okay, so if there are 100 guys doing these kind of things and there are 20 girls, for example, but in the end, you know, there are 20 guys and 5 girls working. If you look at the proportion, the girls are more. So I think girls are very talented in these kind of things. So now let's do something on the teeth. Let's increase the resolution a bit. Right. Maybe this part is a bit useless. We can do that. Okay. And with the dump standard, We can start sketching on the teeth, okay, to make them more detailed and more used up. Still very fast, very loose, not too much effort. Keep the line relaxed. Okay. Now let's do blending with some darker color. Paint. Let's bring the intensity up again. Okay. And I repeat, I should be spending more time, doing this better, but I think it works. Okay, let's put some highlight on these teeth. And let's work on the eyes a bit. In this case, I want to change the material, so I will go with material and pick the toy plastic and do a color fill object, and then go back to the startup material, so I have the eyes that are shiny. And for them, let's subdivide a bit and do some sketching of the pupils. Let's see what happens. Actually, let me first draw some red in the eyes. RGB. Okay, so this is the first step. Then let's put some shadows a bit on the eyes to help them look more believable. And then let's see what happens if I actually draw. Let's see. Very crazy look. Right. And let's do like a red eyes. Let's see what happens. No. Let's do like ice. Eyes like ice. Okay. Let's do a much darker up here. And let's do black, almost black for the pupils. And the contour. Okay. I might want to rotate this eye a bit. Okay. Move. Okay. I think as a sketch, basically, we are done. If you have any question about the process and you are still in the chat, please let me know, or if you are watching the replay, you can still comment below and I will be answering your question. And you can see that even at this stage, the Dynamesh is not so crazy high. It's still pretty low. It is enough to define the details that I want to define. Okay. Thanks, great answer. Very interesting way to learn 3D sculpture and refresh English. Nice idea. Bye to everyone, says Marcello. Ciao Marcello, see you soon. Okay, I would say this is it. Now if I want to, let's do a quick save. If I want to do a rendering, I will not do a full rendering, full on with Photoshop, etc. I will not post-produce this. Maybe we can see that in another video. But what I will do is change some settings here in ZBrush and call it a day. So for the rendering, I will try to shot BPR. Let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the shadows are very sharp, right? So what I want to do is first edit the material a little bit, increase the specular, a little bit more specular, a little bit maybe lighter. Let's see. Okay, and what I want to do next is go to render. Let's put it here in the sidebar and do BPR shadows. Let's take the globe and strike down a bit. Let's increase 24 and let's put 30. Let's see what happens. It's better. And I can say this could be it for this sculpture. Okay, so this is basically the result I get in, how long am I going for? 1 hour and a half. Okay, so this is a 1 hour and a half sculpt. It's a good exercise if you want to practice. It's a very good exercise, this one, to speed up your process, loosen up, and feel more confident while you sculpt, right? And as I told you, the anatomy part is very important because, as you can see here, we still have basically a skull here with the orbits, right? With the zygomatics, the teeth, okay? This part, and the mandible down here, which still works the same, and still, you know, it's part of the anatomy. And here we have the muscles, sternocleidomastoideo, with this separation, trapezius, deltoids with the different heads, and pectoral muscle, and here we have the clavicle bones. Okay, so it's very important to really understand the anatomy, and then you can build on top with all the different details. Okay, so the nose, you see here all the features, okay, of the head. You will put it on top of that structure, basically. Okay, Any other question? Otherwise, we can end it here. As you can see, this is the front view. I could spend more time fixing all the other views, but right now what I'm mostly concerned with is this viewpoint, right? So this is going to be the final product for this sketch. Please, what options have you changed for rendering? I changed just a couple of sliders. So I decreased the global strength a bit, so they are not, the shadows are not so prominent, and I put 0.79. You can put 0.75 or 0.8 if you want to have a, a straight number. Then I doubled the rays. I put it on 24, so there is more resolution in the shadows, let's say. And then I put an angle of 30, which is the angle to which the rays basically of the light will hit the surface. I mean, if you have an object like this and you put an angle of 0, the rays will hit this. Okay, and I mean this area will be all shadow, like just full shadow. But if you have an angle of 30 degrees, basically you are introducing an area, okay, of transition here between the rays of light. I'm not sure this drawing is actually super accurate on how it works, but for me it's pretty clear that when I introduce the angle, it's doing this kind of thing, right? It's making the transition of the shadow not super sharp, but it's using an angle to decide how much is the transition. Okay, so here will be 100% in shadow, and here will be 0%, and here is the transition. And by the way, I also took the strength down, so this is not going to be 100%, but it's going to be 80%, let's say. Okay, so this helps to give a more smooth look to the shadows and a more natural feeling to the lighting on the model. Okay, cool. So thanks everyone for being here with me today. I think we did an interesting exploration on digital sculpting. Let me put my camera a bit bigger. Okay, I think we did an interesting exploration. I hope I inspired you to try more techniques here in ZBrush. Okay, and you can try to replicate this process. Start from a sphere, and the important thing is to be very free and relaxed while doing all this. Okay, don't get very tight on what you're doing. Of course, you need some experience to be more confident, but you should start practicing this kind of approach since the beginning. Don't try to be too hard on yourself. Don't try to be too tight on your drawing. Don't try to be so perfect, right? Just keep practicing, keep it fun, keep it enjoyable, don't get stressed, and this is the best way for me to keep learning, because you will not get tired basically. Okay, so thanks again for being here with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.